Hello, and welcome to today's Sales Eye Open House training session. In today's session, we're going to be taking a look at a typical day in the life of a sales user or a manager user using Sales Eye. So we're going to go over how to prep for a call, how to find specific customers based off of campaigns, as well as what to do after a call is done. We are going to be looking at the desktop version today. So I'll pull that up here and we'll go ahead and get started. When you first go into Sales Eye, you should be seeing a screen very similar to this. So we're seeing our pods here on this initial screen, our top 5 customers, top 5 parent accounts, saved accounts, as well as saved inquiries. We have a couple other pods over here at the end that we can continue to drag and drop as needed. So you have some functionality within this section here, as well as you can minimize or expand as previously needed. Now to start your day, when you first come into Sales Eye, you'll kind of get down your own pattern, but we have a few ways, as I mentioned, to create very targeted lists off of those we may want to call on. So I'm going to start by walking you through your Campaigns tab. So up at the top, we have this Campaigns tab. And if you open that up, you're going to see something very similar to this. Now, as a reminder, power users are going to be able to create these campaigns while everybody else can still view them if they are subscribed. You'll be able to go in here, see your own campaign, see which of your customers are breaking those rules. Off to our left here, we see all of our previous campaigns. You may have different ones, you may have similar ones. Again, these campaigns are here to help you create a more targeted customer list to call off of. So this top one here, I can see that I am looking at my customers who have not bought from me yet year to date. And I can see that I currently have about 1,200 customers that fall into that category. If I want to, I can click that number and I'm able to see all 1,200 of those customers. Again, these will be your customers, allowing you to take action on each account. For each individual account, I can simply click, and if I need to, I can take a look at their record card, their dashboard, or take a look at their inquiries. So go in and see if there's any information that I need to be aware of. On the bottom, we can take a look at exporting the entire list if you have that functionality. We could send it to MyCalls or our calendar, and we could also send to Google Maps, maybe plot these calls out, see if there's a certain area that might be good to go to for a day, for a nice way to take care of this campaign. So again, one really good way to get your call list for the day. Many of you though, to start your day off, and again going through that day in a life of a user utilizing Sales Eye, will simply start in your MyCalls tab up at the top here. As I go into my MyCalls tab, I can see that I have about 5 calls on my calendar for today. Now, as you remember, and as we break down in many other support videos, you can at any point in time add or generate calls to your calendar to put these appointments there. But pre-call, we're going to come in, start our day by looking at our calendar. I can see that Black Lion Plumbing here is my next appointment. So before I give Black Lion a call or before I go in to meet them, again, these call types could be reminders about a call or a meeting or even an email. Anytime I want to see details about that call type, I can come over to the right-hand side here and I can see when I first set up this call. So the last time I created this conversation note was Tuesday, January 17th. It was a business review. I can see that today I was meant to follow up with this customer at 11:15, that I needed to prepare a proposal, who my contact is, and I would see any opportunities that I've put in with this account. Down at the bottom here, I have my last note, the last conversation, or any reminders that I had given myself on the last call. So I have some nice information here. Pre-call though, again, I'm probably going to want to find some information on this customer. So a really good habit to get yourself into is to go up right next to our name here, we have two icons, and you're probably familiar with both of them. On the left, we have our record card icon containing a lot of our details of our customer, and then right to the right of that icon is our dashboard icon. So pre-call, we're going to want to take a look at this customer's dashboard, see what's going on within this account. So go ahead and click that icon there. When it pulls up my customer dashboard, I'm now seeing information from a high-level overview of the health of this account. So if you think about what we saw when we first came into SalesEye, we had those same pods on our own home dashboard. Now we're just seeing it for this specific customer. At any point in time as well, do note that SalesEye will default to your year-to-date. This is a demo cube, so we are looking at some fictitious data, but you will see that year-to-date date range for all of your accounts there. So we get that high-level overview by looking at these pods. But pre-call, let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit more information. What do I need to know about this account? So we'll just use these tabs here and go straight down the line. So I have a sales comparison. I can see where I'm up and where I'm down compared to this time last year. I have a spend mix analysis. Now, if you remember, this is going to compare your customer compared to the rest of your customers spend with you. So right now we're seeing that for Black Lion Plumbing, that customer that we're in right now, we can see that within plumbing and a couple of other of these categories here, we're able to see that they're below our average customer line, which is this gray bar here. So essentially telling us that there might be room for some opportunity to talk about those product group categories. Each customer will look different, but it's a nice 10-second overview to come in and see if there's any sort of opportunity within this graph here. Moving right next door to spend mix analysis is going to be a snapshot tab. And this snapshot tab is pretty cool. What it's going to allow you to do is create a customized business review for your customer. Now, this might not be something you use on every single sales call, but it's a really nice piece to have in your back pocket. Reason being is, again, we're going to be able to create this custom business review, but we're going to be able to know that it's completely in customer mode, which means that we're only going to be looking with measurements of quantity and of value. So we'll create one here in a moment, but again, a really nice tool to have in your back pocket. I see a lot of my sales reps will do this for things like quarterly reviews with their customers, or they'll bring it with them for a larger customer, or even just to have a conversation with one. A lot of different reasons why you could generate a snapshot. But again, it's going to be found within each individual customer's dashboard. So this one is going to be over Black Lion Plumbing. First thing I get to decide on is what my date range is. So right here, again, we're in a fictitious cube or a demo cube. So I'm going to adjust this date range, and let's just pretend we wanted to do a annual review with one of our customers. So I'm going to take a look at all of last year's information. As we go down, you'll have your company details, your address populate in this section, as well as your information populate right down here. You can change the colors if you would like to, or the chart styles. So some cosmetic changes that you can do. And then at the bottom here, we have what we call modules. So we have 16 different modules that you can select or deselect according to what you want to see within your own snapshot. Once you're done with your modifications, you're just going to simply select that green Generate Snapshot button. And in about a minute, you'll have a snapshot report pull up. You do have the option to generate that snapshot into a PDF, a PowerPoint, or a Word file. So whatever is most helpful for you. For today, I already have one made. So we'll pull that up here and show you what it looks like. And as you see, and I recommend that you guys all try to create one yourself, but your information will populate within this first page here. Everything will be sorted in terms of quantity and of value, so you won't have to worry about any sensitive information being leaked there. But as you go through, you'll be able to see how SalesEye was easily able to punch out those graphs, punch out those charts, and really create a very nice, well put together report for you. So again, a really nice tool to have in your back pocket, and I highly recommend that each of you go in and see what that looks like for your individual customers. Continuing down our pre-call preparation, we'll keep going down these different tabs here so we can take a look at targets. Targets are created by your power users, and if they create a target over a customer, you'll see that target in this target tab here, and you'll also be able to see how your customer is doing in comparison to that target that's set for them. So we can look at that targets there. Again, it will vary whether or not you have that information displayed. Right next to targets is going to be campaigns. And for those of you utilizing campaigns heavily, this part of the tool I'm sure is extremely helpful for you. Reason being is pre-call, let's say that I have 5 minutes here. I'm going to run down my tabs, but when I get to the campaigns tab, I'm seeing a lot of really valuable information at this point. I have some very high alert warnings here, so those red markers. I have some medium warnings, and then I have an opportunity here. So first off here, we can see there's a roofing alert. This customer's slipping a little bit in their roofing sales with me. That's a nice point to know before I go in and have a conversation with them. I have a warning that I missed an upsell. So it's telling me exactly what product I could go in and have a conversation about as an upsell, as well as a missed cross-sell opportunity. So we're not only getting alerts, but we're getting spoon-fed opportunities right at a couple clicks here. So after being able to go through this customer dashboard, I have some really strong talking points and a really good idea about what's going on within this customer. If I needed to look a little further, I could always go up to this top bar here and take a shortcut into my inquiries section. So my favorite inquiry, I do recommend that you get familiar with all of them because they're very valuable, but I really like the sales versus gaps inquiry. So pre-call, if I want to go in and take a look maybe at what this customer is buying from me, or more importantly, maybe what they've stopped buying from me, I can take a look at this sales versus gaps. And we'll go in here, and I'm now seeing month by month what this customer is buying from me. So Black Lion Plumbing, I can see all the product groups that they've been buying, and more importantly, I can take a look at these red zeros to see when they've stopped purchasing a certain product or product group. And I can have that breakdown month by month. So again, in this fictitious cube, I'm in November right now, and I can see that, you know, they've missed out on quite a few product groups that they used to buy. So that's room for conversation. You know, by the end of this month, can I get those deals or those sales in? So a really easy way to see where, again, those gaps or more of those conversations could derive from. Once you're done with that information, you're going to give that customer a call or go in to see them. And when you're done, you get out of the conversation, you get out of the meeting. Last step you're going to do is simply do that post-call routine. So we did our pre-call prep. Let's take a look at how to capture that information. So after a call, we're just going to use that green Add Account Call button. When I do this, I'm going to take about 30 seconds, maybe a minute to come in and capture what went on within that conversation, plan my future call so that I'm not having to sit here and try to remember my last conversation with the customer or when I'm supposed to follow up with that customer. It's all right in here, and we're able to do it very quickly. It's a very light touch piece. We do have a much more broken down video on our support site, so if you want to see this in a little bit more detail, I suggest taking a look at that as well. I'll just go through quickly here. So firstly, start with what kind of call did I just go on? You may have different call types, but I'm going to say for today it was a general sales call. What was my call date here? Little reminder, and this is a common confusion, but call date is simply just a timestamp of when you created this call note. So call date today on January 27th at 11:10 Central Time, I created this call note. So all that's telling me is, again, a timestamp. I can put the duration of that meeting if I wanted to. I could put my call outcome in. So I'm just going to say maybe there was an opportunity identified. Next action, let's go ahead and prepare a proposal. Most important part, let's follow up. Let's put this back on our calendar, and we'll put it on the calendar for Monday morning. Say at 9 o'clock a.m. And then I'm going to skip down to this note section. And here really you're just going to put in any reminders, any conversation points that you had about the note, what you need to remember for next time. And then when you're done, that top right-hand corner, you're simply going to save that note. Now notice when I save that note, I now have a planned call in my planned folder. So I know that when I walk in on Monday, that call will already be ready for me with my notes from this previous conversation. The very last step I now need to do is simply archive this call. I'm done with Black Lion Plumbing for the day. I need to move on to my next call. So over at the very right-hand side, I'm simply going to press that green button to archive this call. Now that call isn't deleted. It can be found within all of my call history notes, but this way it's taken off of my calendar and I can move on to the next call. So again, a really strong pre and post call routine, a really great habit to get into is making sure that my call section is filled out. You can walk into your day with your calls created, and then again, starting off with your dashboard, going in, taking a look at your customer information, and then following up with that post-call routine. So to recap, today we took a look at how to view our home dashboard. We viewed our campaigns tab, looked at how to take advantage of those campaigns that you currently have running in your system, as well as how to walk through a pre and a post-call routine. I do hope today's session was helpful for you. As usual, with any questions, please do contact us. You can contact us specifically at webinars@sales-i.com or by the live chat within your SalesI system right up here. The webinar will be posted in the next couple of days to our support site. If you would like to view this webinar again, as a reminder, our support site can be found right up here in this little question mark bubble. Again, get in contact with us in the meantime if you have questions, but thank you again for joining us today, and take care.